is going on, everybody? Welcome in to the North End Podcast, episode 278. My name is Zach Graham, your host here in the North End, joined, as always, by my good buddy. He's on record as my best friend. His name is Ian Michaud, and we call him E, sitting here on a Sunday, 2026. Happy New Year, my friend. How was your New Year's?
Oh, super low key. I watched Dune again, which is what I did last year.
Okay.
And then
Just
endured.
starting the tradition.
Yeah, I was like, I guess it's a tradition now. So I watched Dune 2 again. That's a great movie. I love it.
Yeah.
It's really fucking good. But as you know, I'm a fan of, the villains usually. So
Yeah.
I'm a big Raid. What's his name? Fade Routha. I like him. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and I like Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I like him.
Yeah.
It's okay. And then just endured the onslaught of fireworks while my dogs, got traumatized a little more.
Yeah.
My brother's poor dog, she just gets so scared, man. She just starts shaking like uncontrollably and like will hide in the bathroom. So
Poor button.
yeah. Got her under the covers with me, so she felt a little more safe there. But it was a low key,
Nice.
it was a fine way to bring in the new year. I went out and went hard enough in the month of December for an entire year, so I'm good. I'm good to pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You got your stepping out quota reached for 2025, I guess. So yeah, kind of similar over here, right? I had a game that night, came home, Stranger Things. Also trying to keep the dog from the fireworks. We had the Stranger Things cranked loud enough where he was kind of sleeping through most of the fireworks. But then when you try to go to sleep after midnight, then they're still going. And yeah, we're getting old, man. Sitting here complaining. 15 years ago, I was blasting fireworks.
I hated you back then. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's me getting, I've always hated fireworks, dude. They just go, it's all weak.
I know. Well, that's what I don't. Yeah, dude. There was like December 23rd fireworks in my neighborhood, and now, January 3rd as well. It's like we gotta have parameters here.
All right. Yeah. Fuck. We are getting old. Damn.
Well, it wasn't the quietest week in Austin FC history, but compared to our December, it certainly was a mellow one. So we do have some Austin FC news to touch on here to open the new year. We're about a week out from the guys reporting to training camp, and we've got that big North End announcement that we've been teasing the last couple weeks. So before we get into all of that, just want to remind everybody listening, whether you're watching us on the YouTube or you're listening on the audio version, you can support the show financially still by downloading the audio versions of our episodes wherever you get your podcast. You toggle on auto downloads. That'll support us going forward. You won't have to think about it again. You go the extra mile, rate and review the show wherever you get those pods. And if you are on the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. It does help us grow the show. You can also hit the notification bell to know when a live stream pops up or a new episode goes live. Of course, here on episode 278, hit the thumbs up. That was your New Year's resolution, right? You like the video every single time. Help us battle those YouTube algorithm overlords and atone for your sins. Wash yourselves clean in the waters of the North End. And with apologies to our friend Jana, who has told me she 15-second fast forwards our little shilling portion there every episode. Don't blame you. Sorry, Jana. Here's like 20 more minutes because the North End podcast has joined Patreon and, I guess kind of North End 2.0, if you will, here, right? We're in Austin FC 2.0 and 3.0, depending on who you ask. But this is kind of the next step for us. So, I mean, I guess we could kind of start by talking about like why we're doing this. We've avoided any sort of paywall for any of our content. But I think two reasons stand out to me. Number one is to further engage the listenership, right? Kind of the community that has built up and been cultivated around the show over the last, this is going to be our 5th season covering the team, even though it's about 3.5 years that we've been going here. And then also, dude, like we're kind of just, right? We're like kind of the Tim Robinson sketch. We're like, we got to make money off this. It's too good. So like, look, We put a lot of time and effort into this. And yes, we also put some financial resources into everything that we do here in the North End, right? Whether it's the graphics you put out on social media, the streaming services, yada, yada. So I think we've cooked up a way to kind of satisfy both of those points here. So I'm really looking forward to it. And obviously we're gonna dive into what this all means here.
Yeah, I think those are my two main points as well, and the most important thing for us, I think, has been the community that we have built here over the years, and like the incredible and awesome people we have met through the podcast and at the games and everything. And that in itself has been super rewarding and cool. And like to branch out and meet new people from different walks of life and everything has been awesome to see us all kind of come together here in this space has been great. But also, yeah, I would like to break even every month on recording podcast episodes for everyone. That would be nice. You know what I mean? I think we were talking about it last night. I was just like, man, breaking even, I'm good with that. Like that would be A+.
We got to break even on this.
Yeah, not even profit. So just getting there would be absolutely fantastic. And, I think for us, what it's been like, is we always wanted it to be something where we tried to make everyone feel as welcome as possible, involved with what we were trying to do. We went through our own, growth process with all of that, and, being egotistical, fucking crazy sports fans who,
that's not going away. Just
to so like, we can, every now and then we toot our horns a little more and everything like that. But keeping the basic stuff, available to everyone is obviously going to be. No one's going to have to pay to listen to us.
No.
So like that's something that I thought was really important. But yeah, a lot of hard work went into this, and I'm super excited about it because I do think there's going to be some fun ways to interact with us and some cool stuff that we're going to be trying to give away, and not trying to give away. We will be giving away.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it, man, for sure.
Yeah, I think you put it pretty perfectly there. So let's talk about what we're offering here. And I think the thing that I want to kind of piggyback off of there is you saying that, like, right, we're not putting a paywall up for any of the stuff that we already had. There's really just kind of one minor thing that is going, like, quote unquote, behind the paywall, but it wasn't a big part of what we've done anyways. So let's get into it here. So what we're offering with the North End Podcast Patreon memberships here, number one, we're going to have merch drops annually here. So, right, that could be t-shirts, stickers, pens, koozies, right? That North End merch that I know you have held off on for so long. We finally broke down that wall with E. So there will be some North End Podcast merch coming down the pike here. So for these like annual t-shirts and then some, these merch drops as we're calling them, members will have to be signed up for 6 consecutive months prior to that annual drop, which we are planning to do at the start of every season. So if you think about 2027, 2 seasons, 2 merch drops. So we will have 2 in the calendar year of 2027. But again, you need to be signed up for those 6 prior consecutive months to qualify for those drops. And there will not be a merch drop to begin this season. But kind of as you hinted at a moment ago, there is merch and you can get your hands on it as soon as next month. But more on that in a minute. So you'll have your merchandise drops. We will also have, for our subscribers on Patreon, quarterly giveaways. Now, I do want to caveat that by saying we reserve the right to give away more things than that, but at least 4 giveaways per year if you are a Patreon member. So this is going to be things like Austin FC merch, and memorabilia, right? Sometimes signed, autographed merch or memorabilia. It could be game tickets, could be other North End merch that we come up with along the way. We definitely have some ideas.
For sure.
It's not, it doesn't take us long to come up with more nicknames and new sayings and things like that as we go through a season. But the first quarterly giveaway will actually be selected on opening day here. So February 21st. And it's a team signed ball here. Ooh. So this is within reach.
Let's go. Pull it up.
There you go. Try to be careful here. Don't touch any of the signatures, but you got signatures all over this ball. I think it's like 12 or 13 guys signed this one for us, E. So February 21st,
Boom.
we will be giving that away to one of our Patreon subscribers. And again, minimum 4 giveaways a year of that ilk. Okay. Then, and this is the only thing that will change from what you already get as a North End listener, viewer, follower on various social medias, listener questions. All of our listener questions will now come solely from our Patreon members. But if you think about it, like we'll have questions that people will text us, DM us, talk about in person, right? Like sometimes we'll bring those up on the show. I was talking about Tom Hollick's back and forth with me in the DMs on last week's episode. We've only really done one actual just listener questions episode, right? In the middle of last season on one of those bye weeks. And it's been 300 plus now episodes plus live streams. So listener questions as a whole was not a huge part of what we were doing prior to this. So like, I think it's fair to say nothing still really changes for those who want to continue getting their North End content as they always have. But for those who do have questions, we plan on addressing those listener questions as they come in for the show. But at the very least, we will have minimum 1 listener question segment per month. As long as the members have them, right? As long as they ask them, and we certainly will be pinging our members in our Discord chat that is connected to our Patreon. And so again, so there you go. There will be a Discord. It's for those unfamiliar, right? It's just like a chat application, similar to like a Slack or a Teams, right? Stuff like that. Anything else you wanted to add on those 3 things? Because now the next item here, E, is really my bread and butter.
No, go get right to it.
Best ball pyramid, everybody.
There it is.
So is it fair to assume that the majority of listeners are at least familiar with the fact that we have something called the Verde Best Ball League, right? We've run that the last 3 seasons. Always keep that for the nonsense at the end, right?
Yeah.
But we've competed, created our own little fantasy league there, or competition rather, right? And we've competed against some of our friends in the independent media space, both here in Austin and now on a nationwide scale, our defending champions of the Verde Best Ball League Soccer Wise podcast. So yeah, I know. We'll get them back. Behind the scenes, E, I have been testing both 8-team leagues, right? Verde Best Ball League is 6 teams. So testing some 8-team leagues to make sure the depth is there for this game to be able to have, fun rosters and competitive rosters, and a pro rel format to best ball. So big shout out to the 15 friends who were playing along, unknowingly helping me make this come to fruition. I appreciate you all. So now, E, we're going to bring MLS Best Ball to the people. We'll talk about the Patreon, the subscription tiers here in a moment, but there will be 2 levels of our Patreon subscriptions that will grant you entry into our new annual tournament. Working title, Best Ball Pyramid. We're brainstorming some different, more North End specific names. But so, if you want to play in the Best Ball Pyramid tournament, in this first year, we will be playing with leagues of 6 to 8 participants, depending on how many signups we get. It could be a single digit number of people. We could be playing with 6 people. Who knows who's going to sign up, right? It could be 20 plus. We'll see. Okay, so that's going to be influx in the Discord for the members who have access to the Best Ball Pyramid. The winner of each league will receive a North End Best Ball League champion t-shirt at the end of the season. Okay, and the top scoring team out of the entire field will lift the North End Best Ball Pyramid trophy. The trophy's 6 feet high. Not really. I just love semi-pro, but it is a hefty trophy here, E. This trophy has space for a minimum of 16 league champions. That means this trophy can, the idea is keep this trophy around the North End Patreon Best Ball League for 16 years.
There we go.
Okay, your name will be engraved on it if you win, and you will have that trophy in your possession as the champion of the league until the next champion is crowned. You show all your friends, E.
Oh, yeah.
So then this is where the pyramid comes in, right? The promotion relegation aspect of this tournament. Going into 2027, we will divide these leagues by the overall top overall scores from first to last from year one here in 2026 into a pro rel style tournament. So let's just say that we have 24 teams here. So 3 leagues of 8 going into 2027. Okay. The Premier League, or whatever we end up calling that top league, will always have 8 teams in it. So if we had 2 other 8-team leagues in what we could just call here Division 2, we'll get some of our Patreon members leading up to the season to maybe brainstorm, crowdsource some names for all this stuff. But so then every year following this, Pro Rel is instigated here. So let's say 8 teams in the Premier League here. You can see it on the screen if you're watching on the YouTube, and 2 Division 2 leagues of 8 teams each. You can see it on the screen. If you win the Premier League, you get the trophy and your champion t-shirt. You're the champ. If you're in the bottom 4 of that top league, you will be relegated to Division 2 the following season. And if in your Division 2 league, you finish first, you get the championship t-shirt and you're promoted to the Premier League next year. And then Team 2, no championship t-shirt, but you do get promotion into that Premier League the following season. So keep in mind, for those interested in playing best ball with us going forward, the best ball pyramid will be an ever-changing competition in terms of the number of leagues, the size of the leagues, right? Because we hope to keep adding participants year after year and adding new levels of the pyramid under what is already established, right? Those new teams that come in season over season will always enter at the lowest level of the pyramid and have to work their way up. So the earlier you get in, the easier it is to maintain that spot at the top of the pyramid. So we will summarize the scoring and the standings for the Verde Best Ball League on the show as we do. And then we will also be adding to that segment with our weekly scoring updates, our standings updates for every league that we have in the best ball pyramid. So we'll also have links at thenorthendpodcast.com that will take you to the league pages and overall standings. So anybody can follow along there. And then this season drafts we have best ball channels in the Discord. Once you sign up, you will see those. And our drafts this season will be conducted in those best ball channels of the Discord server from February 15th to February 18th. So we are assuming we could have multiple leagues here of 6 or 8 in the first season, draft those over the course of those 4 days. Of course, that lines up with the NBA All-Star break, so I have the time to commish during that week here, But again, look, reminder that best ball is for the people, okay? If you are looking for low maintenance MLS fantasy action, this is the best option for you that's out there. Hands down, 100% confident in saying that. Because if this is your first time hearing about best ball or thinking about what it would be like if you played, you draft your team at the start of the season. Then there are only 2 other times during the year, usually in a day span, where you can make transfers to your team that season. So basically 3 days out of the year, you spend managing this roster and you get 8 to 9 months of fantasy goodness here, So, right, those transfer windows, last week of April this coming year. And then we don't have the actual secondary window transfer draft date set yet because I haven't seen a secondary transfer window confirmed by MLS yet this season. That should come in the next couple weeks. But likely the middle or the end of August, right, when that secondary window closes after the World Cup break this season. So very long-winded explanation there about this new best ball tournament that we're opening up to the people here. Any additional comments from you?
We're just going to say and reiterate that this is, it could only be 1 day theoretically. If you, if you don't want to make transfers, if you did great during the draft and drafted a super team, or you've, kind of lost a little bit of interest, it is as low maintenance as it gets. And it's super fun, and it's something to keep track of, and like you learn more about other players
Mm-hmm.
in the league, which I think is exciting as well. And then, of course, you get to go toe to toe with some of your other sicko friends in the best ball tournament. But whatever questions you have regarding that, we will be happy to answer, because I know there's going to be some confusion, of course, for people that are not as inundated with fantasy sports as you and I are. But we'll be happy to clarify anything for you. But you can talk to some of the other podcasts that we have here locally, and they'll let you know how much they enjoy it as well. We've done it with this was year 3, right?
That was year 3. Yeah. So Moon Tower's been in it. We Are Austin's been in it every year. Verde Pendant's been in it 2 years now. Phil's been in it 2 years now. Right. We had Texas Ring of Fire for 2 years. Soccer wise. Right. So,
it's fun.
And we will have, right. We're going to have way more, I'm going to have way more detailed rules, Google Docs, Google Sheets, all this stuff. Once you do get in there, fully explaining and, like he said, answering any of the questions that you may have about best ball. So the question you may be asking now is, how do I sign up? Well, you can head to patreon.com and find the North End podcast there, or you can use the links that are in the description of this episode, both on the YouTube or the audio podcast version. Or here's some technology for you. There's a QR code on the screen right now here on YouTube. You can scan that QR code. It will take you right to our page there on Patreon. So you will click on membership here. So I'm pulling this back up. It's hidden by our logo there, but up in the top right corner, you click on membership. We can get a couple zooms here. You can see 4 membership tiers here. So let's talk about what you get at the various tiers. Let's start. And these could not be named anything else here in the North End.
Yeah.
Our $2 per month tier is the supplemental tier. Okay. So the supplemental tier, right? This mostly is just you supporting us with a couple bucks every month, but it's not nothing. This tier does get you into the Discord with access to the general channel and access to the listener questions channel. Again, those listener questions addressed minimum once a month on the show when you have them. And of course, with all of these tiers, any subscription, anything you are actually paying us to do this silly stuff, our eternal, enormous gratitude from us to you. So that is the $2 supplemental tier. Then we've got the senior tier, and the senior tier is a $5 per month subscription. That's going to get you, of course, the access to the Discord, the access to the listener questions that will qualify you for the annual merch drop and the quarterly giveaways. So that is your $5 per month tier, the senior membership. Then you also see there's a third tier here that's just best ball. Okay, so that's $5 per month. If you only want to play best ball, you don't need to ask questions of us because we're stupid, and you don't need any North End merch, what have you. Or if you are an Austin FC fan, a North End sicko that likes best ball, and you have a friend of another MLS team that also likes fantasy sports and they might want to play best ball, then this is the tier for them. Okay, so you get that Discord access, you get entry into the best ball pyramid for that best ball only subscription. And then this is this is the place to be, to me, the fourth and final tier, the DP tier, and that is of course designated Patreon here in the North End. That is going to be $10 per month for this subscription. You get access to the Discord, of course, the listener questions, qualifies you for that annual merch drop. You get into the quarterly giveaways, you get entry into the best ball pyramid. So everything under the sun here. And if you sign up at that $10 tier, you will get a shout out on the show after you sign up. And you will get your name inserted somewhere into the next Victory Song video edit. And that guaranteed by January 2027, if you're subscribed to the tier for 6 months or more. And the reason we're waiting till January 2027, we'll address later in the episode. Okay. So that is the $10 designated Patreon tier. That is, I think for the true sickos here in the North End. I also think, right, you could have maybe some hesitation with this, right? Especially if you've never paid podcasters for something you get free before. I can understand that hesitation. So here's where we entice you to come join us this preseason, because we mentioned that first giveaway is that team sign ball on opening day, February 21st. Every member signed up by February 21st will be entered to win that giveaway, but there is more. If you are one of the first 20 people to sign up at the senior level, and that could take months, we'll see. If you're one of the first 20 people to sign up at the senior level, you will get a free North End Podcast sticker. Now, that is just sticker with the logo. You will get that by opening day. And those same first 20 that sign up at the senior level will be entered into a giveaway where we are giving away 5 North End Sicko shirts. We are printing 50 of these shirts. These shirts will never be printed again. Now, let's take a look at this very low res, very elementary preview of what this shirt would look like. It doesn't look great, okay?
Doesn't look good there.
Not on the little low res preview, but we'll have the North End logo there on the left chest. And then underneath that logo, it will say Sicko. And this Sicko shirt will always be the indicator of kind of first edition, North End shirt here. So for those first 20 that sign up at the senior level, you will be entered into a giveaway. 5 of those 20 signups will win a free North End Sicko shirt on top of the free sticker that you get for being one of the first 20 at sign up. That is not all. If you are one of the first 20 to sign up at the DP level, that $10 level, you will get the free TNEP sticker. You will get the free Sicko shirt. So look, that's 25 of the 50 shirts printed. Me and you are taking at least 2 for each of us, I'm sure, right?
That's
we got to put one in the vault, one we're going to wear. So there's not a ton of these shirts going around, okay? Got to get your hands on it. And you will get an extra entry if you are one of the first 20 to sign up at that DP level, an extra entry into the team sign ball giveaway on February 21st.
Ooh.
Okay, so stickers and t-shirts will either be mailed, if that's your preference, your shipping address will be requested at the time of sign up on Patreon. So that's how we can know where to send these things to you. But if your preference is hand delivery, we're going to figure out how to get down to the queue a little bit early for opening night, set up shop out there, hand out the, people who want to come by, say, hey, get their shirt, when applicable. I think that's what we're planning to do here. So you will have that stuff by opening day. And please send us any questions about any of this. If you have them, in the comments, our DMs, wherever, you can always email us, as some folks do, the North End Podcast at gmail.com. Or I think it's the North End Pod. Should get that right. At gmail.com is the address. You can always hit the link on our website as well. Anything else for you on this, man? I mean, I know this is again like half an hour of just shilling this bullshit. Again, the QR code is on the screen right there. But I'm excited for this, man, and especially the best ball pyramid.
Best ball's going to be great, and we are trying to actively get fans of other teams in there. So we have to prove our superiority over some of these other fans' clubs and stuff like that. But look, you cut out your avocado toasts every month, okay? You don't go get your fancy coffee. You put your money into the artists here in Austin. You'll feel way better about yourself. And apparently you could probably buy a house. You cut out avocado toast. You can, build your 401k. Just taking care of that. Just eliminating that there. You'll be totally fine. So get rid of that stuff. But I'm excited too, man. That was a great little Billy Mays routine that you did there.
Yeah, thank you.
That's not it. That's not all. Here it comes again. Oh shit!
Get me slapping Flex Seal on the Austin roster when it goes bad or something like that.
I was thinking, man, if we win a cup this year, we'll do custom cards where game worn shirt from ENZG from US Open Cup.
Yours just stained with beer. You got a dart hole in one where I poked you.
No, but I'm super excited, and I hope people are excited about it as well. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff being offered here, and obviously I'm a little biased, as I tend to be on these episodes.
But shit, dude, I mean, it is Sunday afternoon when we're recording. This is obviously going to go live in the early evening, so we may see some of you in the Discord if you are so inclined as soon as Sunday night. So very excited to get this underway here, E. And look, I'm sorry, Jana. The shilling at the beginning of the episode will now have this added to it as well. Try to cut it down to like 10 seconds, but look, we got to make money off this.
Got to pay the bills, Jana.
Anything else for you, E, before we get into some actual Austin FC news of the week?
Now let's do it.
All right, E. So this was, I think, the news of the week. Tom Bogert dropping some news, I believe, right around Friday midday, if I'm not mistaken, that Austin FC has signed Owen Wolff to a new long-term U22 contract. And I got to bring this up again. Let me take another victory lap, because look, in that crazy long ass text message that I sent to you the night before we traded for Jaden Nelson, where I said, hey, we should trade for Jaden Nelson, one of the other bullet points in that text was sign Owen to a U22 deal. So 2 out of 4.
Nailed it. Absolutely impressive. Just super, super impressive. We're going down the checklist here now. What else we got? We got Diego Luna. I mean, if you can get some bets on that, go ahead and try to get in on that early, because you're hot right now, brother.
Well, so dude, the more I look at this the other day after, I was like, holy shit, I said that thing too. Went back and looked at it. The more I think about it now, if you sign Diego Luna in a cash trade and you retain Owen, you probably don't need a max TAM chance creating 10, and Luna and a max TAM chance creating 10 are the 2 bullet points left. I feel like those are a little bit redundant if you do get Diego Luna, but that didn't stop me from, again, you got a victory lap when you can, man. You get so much shit wrong in the prediction game.
Absolutely, bro. I mean, if you go 3 out of 4, that'd be super impressive. And,
either one of those, we would be flying.
Absolutely. Like. I was just thinking, what would we have to pay in a cash to get him? It would be
10.
It'd be pretty spicy for sure. Yeah, it'd be hefty.
I don't, again, we don't love the transfer market there, but like that's always where you go to get that starting point for a player that you just, need that baseline for what the deal could potentially, entail. We'll see. Again, that is complete conjecture still on our part. There has been no concrete evidence, not even fake evidence of Diego Luna being on the block at all. So again, just dreaming there, but let's get back to the Owen talk, right? Because the most important thing that this does, moving Owen to a U22 deal, is take him from the supplemental roster to a senior roster slot, Ian. So the roster sheets at the northendpodcast.com are not updated because we do not update these before the team officially announces a move. But we can sit here and say, that would take Owen from that top supplemental slot to slot 20 on the senior roster and the third U22 slot. So at present, no more U22s, no more senior slots. But, there's going to be outbound moves. Yep. We've talked about it. I do want to talk about it again here in a moment, but also need to think about what this contract length could be before I get into some of that nitty gritty. What was your reaction on Friday outside of rolling your eyes at me, dunking the basketball again?
Thrilled, man. Like the season that he had, and to see him get rewarded. And then I know we're going to get into a bit more of the schematics here with what the contract could look like, the length and all of that. But he was our best player last year. It was clear. He kind of, took the league by storm. We were trying to go break down like how many team of the weeks he was making last year. I think it was like 7 or 8 or something. Yeah. So like,
he led the team, right? I think.
What's that?
He led the team in appearances on the team of the week.
He did. And just to see that like recognition league wide on the top 3 of the 22 under 22 list, like this dude, man, he played so well last season. I'm glad he's getting rewarded, and it makes sense from a team building standpoint, to get him on this U22, get him under a long-term deal, control your ability to sell him on afterwards a little better, and hopefully get the bag for him. So we'll see how it plays out, but congrats to Owen, man. It's all you got, offensive player of the year voted by the team and everything. And they put up a nice little highlight reel today with like ankle breakers, a couple nutmegs he had last season. Good Lord, kid was on fire. So super, super happy for him. Super grateful to have watched his ascension here. And, we talking before we jumped on here, 18 goal contributions across all competitions. And, left some stuff on his plate there. And obviously this team was not a very high scoring club last season. We think we're going to take a step in the right direction next year with that, and the opportunities for him to continue to pad those stats will be there. But in regard to, not just the counting stats, watch him improve as a player overall. His maturity, his leadership ability as well last season was really impressive. So I'm over the moon about this, and super happy for Owen.
Yeah, same, man. And I think happy for him in terms of taking the next step in his career, and happy for him because this means a payday for Owen Wolff, right? And talking about this contract again, we'll get the official numbers. I would imagine from the team will announce this Monday or Tuesday at the latest, right? With that Bogert, usually when Bogert tweets as he did that Austin has signed, that means the paperwork came into the league office. We're waiting for the press release here from the team. So a U22 contract can take a player through their age 25 season. Now, Owen just turned 21, and happy birthday to the kid. We got eyes everywhere. Owen Wolff celebrating New Year's out there at Buford's, newly 21. Owen Wolff out there on West 6. And look, you're out on West as a 21-year-old. There's some sophistication for you. Look,
can't relate.
Yeah, well, I know. As I'm looking at you.
And you came here?
I think this contract is likely through 2030. Or at least the 2030 season is going to be an option because Owens, and again, with the schedule changing now, that would be he'll turn 25 in the 2030-31 season, trying to do that on the fly. Mm-hmm. Either way, this is a long-term, this can be and was reported as, per sources, a long-term deal. So we could be looking at Owen locked up on this U22 deal, counting against the cap at just $200K. Meanwhile, Austin can pay Owen Wolff up to $803,000 this year and still keep that $200K cap hit. And maybe even more than that. I know Phil West at Verde All Day. Everybody go subscribe to Phil. I know Phil put out an article, writing about some of the rules surrounding the compensation allowed here. I'm personally still confused with the wording of the rules, right? And the shocker, somebody's confused about the MLS rulebook, but I'm confused on this being his second or his third MLS contract because he has signed an extension with us before. I think it's his third, but the rules suggest that this would only work if it's his second. So I don't know for sure at present. It's also unclear if he would keep his homegrown status through this because I think that is what would allow Austin to potentially pay Owen closer to $1 million and still keep that $200K cap hit. But again, that is just speculation by me right now because I don't fully understand that, or I don't have confidence that I'm understanding the rule correctly. And ultimately, it's probably meaningless to be talking about those numbers because I think he's probably getting paid like $500,000 going forward, right? With increases going down the line, but was right around $220K, if I recall, 210, something like that this past year. So $500,000 sounds good to me on a hefty, more than 100% pay raise there for the kid, but we'll know more when the team officially announces. And then of course, salary cap Christmas it's always intriguing, but going to be very enlightening from a roster build standpoint when we get that in a few months.
Yeah, we got several question marks that we're going to have to get cleared up with this roster and what dudes are getting paid here, and thinking about this move and what it means for the team. Obviously, retaining a player like Owen, I think we're all in favor of that, and I think
Yeah.
a lot of the fan base is clamoring for him to stay around. But obviously, the opportunity for his advancement in his own career, as well as us getting some GAM back to be able to utilize to build out this roster a little bit better, is still in play here. But I mean, I don't know if this was part of the plan. You know what I mean? I don't know if before last season they were like, hey, we are going to need to shift Owen to a U22 deal. And then he has this giant year, and then we saw some confirmation from Taylor Twellman about other teams sniffing around. And I don't know, if the hand was forced a little bit here because he was drawing some heavy interest from MLS teams. But God, losing him into the league would have been a nightmare and an absolute failure, in my opinion, because we want to retain this dude and hopefully reap the benefits from cultivating his game here in Austin. So I'm glad that this got done, and just another drop in the bucket for this offseason for things that we've wanted to see. And now we can move into, is it going to be another U22? Are we going after a DP here? What's that going to look like in regard to the roster build? So again, just super, super happy for Owen and for the team in general. I mean, if he takes another step next year, man, you got to feel great about it.
Yeah, I do. For those listening on the audio version, it was the Taylor Twellman tweet that he's referencing that said multiple teams had called about Owen Wolff and his availability, which forced Austin's hand in doing the right deal for him. There was a chance he was going to be moved. They can't afford to lose him. So I think your read is correct there, or I interpret this the same as you, E, that this was right MLS teams calling about Owen Wolff's availability. I think I would stop short personally of saying it would be a disaster if we had done a deal in the league to move him, because ultimately the baseline of what we need as a team when Owen does move on is that $3 million in GAM converted from whatever the transfer fee ends up being. We've set it at, I think our last number was 28 million, somewhere around there in October, the last time he did something cool. But we just need the GAM. It would suck if he went to another team in the league and came back to bite us, or then, ascended to, winning a title with somebody else. But again, that whatever Twellman's sources are telling him here, saying it forced Austin's hand, whatever. This is a good move. And I would dare to say a great move, considering what just happened with the roster in December, the turnover we saw, the moves we saw. And of course, for a couple weeks now, since that one fateful night, the now prophetic tweet or text, E. I've been on board with this clearly for a couple weeks. So, and I also think that, if we're going back to the roster sheets, right, and kind of dragging back the discussion on, is this team going to be 2-4 GAM build or a 3DP 3U22? This move still does not lock in a clear direction to me. And I see you shaking your head agreeing there. So I still think the most likely outcome at present is the 2-4 GAM build, and that we need at least one sale that can net us at least $1 million in GAM converted from whatever transfer fee, from whatever potential player could be moving on, at least $1 million of GAM to make that 3-3 work, try to recover some of the GAM we sent out in the Nelson trade. And even then, bringing in that third DP, it would be very tight to make the roster work if it was just $1 million in GAM you're recouping from a potential outbound sale. Now, that could be, and I think we still assume that Guilherme Biru is going to be on the move here based on what we talked about last episode with the reports, the rumors, and then him reposting that Instagram story with his agent and his wife. I went and looked at, UEFA transfer windows are open right now, but we don't think that Biru is going to Europe, right? We think it would be a move back to South America. That's our best guess at this point. I could not find confirmation that the CONMEBOL windows, right, those South American federation teams, that those windows are open. But last year they were open for all of those countries from basically January to March. So I think they are either open or coming open in the next couple days or weeks. Once again, transfer market not the best for getting factually accurate information. But I think that's where we should be looking for the potential outbound transfer is Biru. Obviously not new information, but you still got to kind of reframe where we're at after adding Owen to the U22 and the senior roster.
Yeah, and if you're looking at that senior roster, right, what are your options for netting $1 million in a sale for somebody? It's a very, very limited list there. I mean, obviously, I think fetching $1 million for Biru would be pretty large. But then other than that, there's just not a lot of names that I think would fetch such a price tag. So
Danny.
Yep, it's probably just Danny. So,
and I would sorry to interrupt. I would also say the Owen contract doesn't mean he doesn't get sold 6 months from now.
For sure. Yeah.
Right. We just have him locked up. He gets the pay bump as long as he sticks around here and continues to develop, and we get the salary cap relief with the roster slot. It's again win-win, I think, all around. But I don't think we should sit here and say, oh, and now Owen's going to be here for years. It might not even be year.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely slow and play. There's a lot that's still going to happen, so we're going to keep speculating on it. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think I might have gone with disaster with the Owen thing to MLS because we just lost Buka. It's looking like we're about to lose Biru. These are the guys that we love and everything like that. So, and I will say I did not read the entire tweet from Twellman and see that he also said that Austin's hand was forced. I brought that up because it just seemed that way. I don't think that this was part of the plan, and we've talked about, the pros here from this move, but I think that there was potentially bigger fish to be fried from the front office there.
Well, that was a tongue twister. Well,
yeah,
and it's
Taylor Twellman tweet, fish fry.
Well, and I will also say it's very easy for me to sit here now that we have him locked up saying that I wouldn't feel like it was an ultimate disaster if we moved him in the league. I would be upset. That's for sure. And to your point, right? Still lots to happen here. Outbound moves, still 2 buyouts. I know we were me and Phil and some other sickos were examining a Hader Obrian New Year's tweet and seeing is there verbiage in here that indicates that he's on the way out, and guys still, John Bell, Ilie Sanchez, those are guys that could still be bought down to the supplemental roster to open up senior slots and those international slots, right? So just because we've moved into the new year here now and we had that flurry of moves in the middle of December, there's another flurry coming. It may be spread out over the next 4 or 5 weeks. It could be all close together, but I think, again, to borrow from our first ever head coach, the plates are still spinning here as the global transfer windows open up throughout the various federations. So anything else for you on Owen right now?
Not on Owen. I'm just going to say that, the next flurry of moves could theoretically contain the biggest move of the offseason because you're looking at a U22 deal or a DP signing potentially. So, there's a lot more to be done here. But congrats to Owen, 10-10.
So cleaning up a couple other things here. You brought it up earlier, right? Congrats to Owen Wolff on winning the Offensive Player of the Year award from the club. It was 7 goals, 11 assists, I believe, across all competitions, and 12 goal contributions across all comps from July 16th onward. And I know that he had 1, 2, maybe even 3 contributions in Open Cup and MLS playoffs, right? But no matter what, dude, the second half of the season, and it was less than half of the regular season left when he started on that tear. Dude, he was on pace for a 20 goal contribution regular season. Mm-hmm. And I don't think 20 goal contributions is where we should set the bar for a successful season for Owen next year, especially if you buy into the idea that a Nico Estevez coach team is never going to be high flying offensively. But I also don't think we should be surprised at all if he hits 20 or maybe more goal contributions next season, because you also have to think about the leaps that this kid has taken season over season. And if how he improved from what we thought of Owen Wolff coming into last season to how we're talking about him now, if he even does half of that improvement wise in terms of his development, if he does half of that again this season, then we will be talking about him in the 15 to 20 goal contribution range for a regular season. And dude, that would be one of the best stat lines that any U22 around the league is putting up. One of the best.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, he's already in that conversation with those players in that U22 list that are really, studs. And like you talked about, 21 right now, getting a little bit older, moving into this is year 6 for him, right? 5?
Yeah.
6, right?
It's year 6 for all the OGs, right? Well, Owen came in like late summer 21 and signed the first team deal.
Yeah.
But I think he played like 15 minutes.
Like 2 games or something like that.
Yeah, just
so
really short appearances.
Completely familiar with the league now, comfortable. It's all coming together for the kid, man. So onward and upward with him.
Brad Stuver, unsurprisingly, won the team's Defensive Player of the Year award, right? We heap the praise on Stuver week in and week out, rightfully so here. But again, 9 clean sheets last year. And that also makes me think just about the goalkeeper depth chart in general. First, I think we're probably going to see a supplemental keeper picked up. Like, I think you want to carry 3. You already have Damian on that supplemental, but with Brad 1, Damian 2, I'm setting a high bar in my fandom for Damian Loss and his talent floor. I don't think I've ever felt more confident in if Stuver has to miss a game because he got, got a cold, right?
Yeah.
Like having Damian in that, feel great about it.
Absolutely. And, I'm really excited to see Damian. I'm really excited to see what he's going to look like out there. And that I don't even think it's close, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
In regard to,
again, we're biased. And it hasn't been at the MLS level, but the kid fucking crushes at every level until now. So that's my expectation.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only knock on him, right, is that he's just a little small.
Yeah, the size,
right. Everything else you look and you see from him from a technical standpoint, from his athletic standpoint, he's fantastic.
Dude, his attitude out there too.
He's a real commander in that box and everything. He's just a bit small. That's it.
Yeah. So I guess the last thing, we talked about it at the top, but guys should be reporting to the Performance Center next weekend. So on our next episode, we should have some crumbs to go through. Again, another week of transfer rumors, movement to discuss. Maybe we hit a green smoke stream this week. Maybe we hit a sad stream this week. That could be coming as well. But exciting times, dude. You flip the calendar to 2026, North End Patreon, and the preseason coming up. It's going to be an awesome week.
It's going to be awesome. Did you see MLS release their goal of the year for every team?
I did not. What was ours? Was it?
No, Vasquez.
Okay.
Free kick. Yep, it was.
Vindication.
Yep, it was.
I told you that's the number one.
It was the 1 seed. That's what they picked. So I thought that was interesting. You're on fire. Look at that. Another one.
Oh man. Anything else for you before we shut it down?
No. I think we really laid it all out there. It wasn't a whole lot to talk about, but
sure.
Talked about it in depth.
Well, and mentioned earlier, right, about those designated Patreon members getting their name in the next Victory Song edit, which will be early 2027 at the latest, because North End 2.0, we have a new Victory Song. Look, you had to get some of those old players out of the lyrics. So we went ahead, got some new lyrics, at least for that part. Got a new vibe to the Victory Song, and a new video here for the YouTube viewers. So we hope you enjoy. Hopefully we're hearing this song a whole hell of a lot more than we have over the last 2+ seasons. So we will be back. We appreciate you tuning in, sticking with us, especially through all that Patreon stuff here on episode 278. We are back next Sunday with our regularly scheduled episode. Until then, he's E. And I'm Zach. Vamos Austin FC, everybody. Goodbye.
Welcome to the North End, where the passion's running high. We're here to talk football. Austin FC, our pride. CG&E will take you on this ride. Week by week, side by side. In section 1, 2, 3, we're the rowdiest in town. execute to our home, our sacred ground.
Our sacred ground.
Yeah, in green and black we fight, our voices loud and proud. Ooh. OMPV and Danny P, Stu for saving grace. Ooh. With every goal we score, the lights turn Verdi, it's our pain.
Frodo's the mastermind,
building out our dream.
Whoa.
Cam rules everything around me as he strengthens our team.
Oh, let Frodo cook.
He's got the perfect recipe.
Austin FC, our heart and soul.
Forever we'll be
In the North End, we stand together.
We stand together.
Every game, through any weather.
Any weather.
From the first whistle to the final blow.
Oh,
The North End will never let go.
never let go.
The North End,
The North End, we stand together.
every game, through any weather.
Any weather.
From the first whistle to the final blow. The North End will never let go.